Shalom. This is Truth is Everlasting, Lion's Den. I am Yahweh Sap. I camp out with Lion's Den, Hawan Ben Joshua in Jacksonville, Florida. But first I'd like to give a prayer to the Father, to the Son, to the elders, to the archons, and to the women and children. Ka halayam la, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Bahashem Ha Roka Kodash Mahamath. In the name of Yahweh Shai, in spirit and holy and in truth. Double honors to the 144,000 chosen elect. Double honors to the elders of GMS. Double honors to my elder Hawan. Salutation to the archons who are on the four corners of the earth. And to the women and children, Shalom. Okay, well, this popped up, this video. I have seen this, I guess, engineer person speak before. He has a website. The guy in the video will mention it. It talks about here that your weather is not what it seems with Dan Wigington. Okay, more and more people are coming out. Okay, I'm talking about the danger of technology that the corporations, elite Edomites, right, government, military, and whatever other corporations are involved in it, right, that keep using in the air, right, and it's getting to a point where people are realizing, which, what a coincidence, the title of this lesson is called Nowhwre To Hide. Okay, I'm going to play a little bit of it, and then we go into scripture. Here we go.
Talked to for a long time. I've been following his research and his work for a very long time. And I just want to tell you why I reached out to him. EJ, one of the guys I met at one of the last homestead gatherings, or where I was one of the keynote speakers, he wrote to me and says, hey man, I really wish you'd get Dane Wigington on the show. Well, EJ listens to the podcast often, and a number of other people have been hitting me up about hitting him up. And I'm like, okay, I'll reach out to him. I'll see if he'll do it. And sure enough, I reached out. It might have been a few weeks ago. I had no idea that the calamity was going to unfold right here where I live in Western North Carolina. And here it is. And good night. The timing couldn't be more perfect and tragic all at the same time. So with that said, I'm going to bring on my guest, Dean Wigington from Geoengineering. Dane, I'm sorry, Dane, I'm screwing everything up here. I called you Dean. Sorry, man. All you people look the same to me. Dane Wigington from Geoengineering Watch. I guess it helps if I start out with a little bit of humor after screwing up your name. How you doing, my man?
Good, Billy. I don't laugh much, but you just got one out of me. Thank you.
Don't worry. Hey, the show's early, homie. We're going to get into it, but hey, man, right off the bat, folks, everybody that's on here live, if you can, do me a solid, hit that thumbs up, and then leave your questions after a while. I'm going to take advantage of Dane right up front, but hopefully we get into some of your questions out there. So remember, hit that thumbs up. Tell everybody we're live, because when I told everybody that I was going to have Dane Wigington on this show, and I've been kind of teasing it on the podcast for a while, everybody was losing their mind. You'd think I was having Michael Jackson on this show. And Dane, for all the people that don't know about you, why don't you give us a little, every superhero has an origin story. Why don't you tell us yours, and we'll move on from there.
It amazes me that it's 2024
you
and
know
people are still wearing
YouTube.
in-the-ear earbuds. So you can get rid of these and get rid of these.
There you go.
Billy, first I want to express my gratitude to you and to all your followers for the willingness to address this incredibly dire issue. And I'm simply trying to man the post which I feel I was given, and trying to do my part, and I will continue to until my last breath. It's not a job I wanted, and I'm not an activist. I'm not politically oriented. I grew up in smoggy Southern California and worked my entire young adult life to get out of that. And when I finally got to Northern California expecting clean air, built a large off-grid home, solar, wind, and hydro, and began to lose, I was losing 30, 40, 50%, sometimes 70 or 80% of my solar PV uptake, photovoltaic uptake, from whatever these aircraft were emitting. And I knew this couldn't be just condensation. I had some background in renewable energy. I worked for Bechtel Power Corporation, the world's largest engineering firm, when I was younger. And I began to research the subject of geoengineering. I didn't want to find these elements in my rain, climate engineering fallout. I began to test my precipitation, Billy, and I did find it, starting with aluminum. Continued to test for 18 months. At the end of that 18 months, I had single rain events that had as high as 3,450 parts per billion of aluminum. That's toxic rain. So what was I to do? I was restoring habitat here. I'm on the east side of Lake Shasta, Northern California, completely off grid in the middle of the wilderness. But how could I continue to restore habitat while I'm being contaminated from the skies and the entire world with it? So I simply was faced with a choice. And I, of course, made this choice. I've been in this battle ever since, 20 plus years. But I'm extraordinarily grateful to know there's people like you out there, and I'm sure your followers as well. And this is a team effort. All of us spokes in this wheel, all of us necessarily make it roll. And we have to deal with this issue. Quite simply, what's happening in our skies is the biggest hole in the bottom of the boat, greatest threat we face, most immediate threat we face, short of nuclear cataclysm, which even that is tied to this issue. We can get into that in a moment. But bottom line is there's nowhere to hide from this, Billy. Nowhere.
Yeah, talking about nowhere to hide, man. I'm right here in the epicenter of what just unfolded just 30 minutes north of Asheville. And it looks like Godzilla just walked all over this place, not where I am. In fact, folks, as we broadcast right now, I'm having to do it with generator backup. Yeah, we got everything from solar, natural gas, you name it. We're G'd up from the feet up here. Look, I practice what I preach, so we are definitely prepped up. But everywhere around here is an absolutely, Dane, it honestly looks like a freaking war zone, like nothing I've ever seen before. And you had a video that came out the other day, and it knocked my junk into my watch pocket when I saw it, because I couldn't believe that they actually let it stay on YouTube. And B, this isn't the first time I've ever seen you, because I've been following your work for quite a while. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you pointed out exactly the same thing that unfolded during that hurricane that hit Houston. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Hurricane Harvey, you're correct. And we can record this anytime there's a cyclonic rotation that makes landfall, because they do it every time. They leave nothing untouched. We can speculate about the agendas and objectives being carried out, Billy, but the fact that they are absolutely positively steering and manipulating these storms beyond dispute. So again, how absurd is it at this point for the so-called climate science community to pretend that this isn't going on? And what do they blame those frequency transmission flashes on? If you can possibly digest this, they're telling us officially right now the excuse they used to take down our Instagram post of the recordings of that steering. They're telling us that that's just migrating birds taking off all at the same time in perfectly circular fashion around every single transmitter site. That's how absurd this equation is, and the narrative we have coming from the so-called climate science community. So we're the ones we've been waiting for. It's up to us to deal with this issue, and everyone is needed, all hands on deck, to push this issue into the full light of day, brother.
Okay, so walk me through this. For all the people that haven't yet seen that video, first of all, you got to go to his YouTube channel, Geoengineering Watch, or just look up Dane Wigington on, you can see his name above there if you're watching his video, but go to his channel and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Kind of walk us through what exactly is happening. So let's say a storm's out there, it comes in. Are they creating these storms? I do know this. I can't even begin to tell you the number of people that were sending me emails of the skies, of the tic-tac-toe in all of the skies around here days before this thing actually even hit. And it happened the last couple of so-called hurricanes that came in here. But walk me through what's happening. What are they spraying? And then they're using the towers to guide this thing. For all the people out there that are new to this, and believe me, we're doing this in a visual and audio format, but also it'll be on the podcast. But walk me through what exactly is happening with these storms. So it's out there. Are they making a combat multiplier out of it? How are all these things working together for the people that are novices out there to this information?
Okay, I want to start with this. The equation is complex. And in regard to the spawning of the storms, the oceans are superheating, and climate engineering is making that worse overall as well. But they can and are manipulating atmospheric pressure zones, which can help to spawn cyclonic rotations, but that's not to say that it won't happen on its own, again, because the oceans are superheating. But what we see them doing now is keeping those storms from intensifying while they're over open ocean too far away from the land-based frequency transmission network. So instead of seeing the already formed, well-organized storms in the middle of vast stretches of ocean, we're seeing them kept disorganized until they get close enough to land. And Billy, you've heard this term a lot lately, rapid intensification, right? We hear it all the time now. So they're keeping them from spinning up to full strength until they're close enough to manipulate effectively with the land-based transmitters. And we don't see the oil production platforms in the Gulf of Mexico getting hit almost ever. They might have a passing fringe of something, but they're spared again and again and again. And yet we have this rapid intensification and this steering of this core of the moisture has just happened in Carolina. And so again, it's the manipulation here is absolutely inarguable. And before I forget, just so the residents of the Carolinas know that there are wheels turning on this situation, I had an hour conference call yesterday with the elected representatives from the Carolinas, both, and I presented data on this issue, and they are absolutely aware and aghast and trying to digest what has just been done to them and their constituents. And geoengineeringwatch.org printed materials is going out to all of these state representatives. Spot fires are burning on this issue. So we're going to stoke those fires and working with other states as well. So we can expect the fur to fly hopefully soon. It has to. That doesn't mean our problems are over, but it means that the first step in the right direction is to push this issue to the full light of day and let the chips fall where they may. The proverbial pitchforks and torches moment needs to happen, needs to come. But they keep these storms weakened until they're close enough to land to steer rapid intensification. Then we see the energizing of the NextRad transmission network, and they're about to upgrade all those transmission sites as well, we believe, to make them even more powerful. That's in the process right now. So they're not done. They're not going to let go of this covert weather weapon with which they can decimate anyone anywhere and then blame it on nature. And in the case of the Carolinas, are there some extenuating potential factors here? Part of the agenda. I don't want to say the only agenda. There's, again, many layers to this, but the lithium scenario there and the lithium mining scenario that's been a source of controversy, the crystal mine there as well, that's now been shut down. And it's impossible to know how many maneuverings are going on behind the curtain. But the bottom line is, and we stand on what we can say definitively at geoengineeringwatch.org, this is absolutely going on. It's destroying the planet's remaining life support systems. Billy, you probably know this, many of your listeners probably do, but if we take the Amazon forest, for example, it's burning to the ground right now. There's been 45,000 fires this year alone. The rivers are dry. We have inhabitants walking across sand, trying to find water and get supplies in the Amazon. And we have the Great Barrier Reef, one of the 7 wonders of the world, is now basically done. And they blame that only on water temperature, but the UV is a core part of that problem. It's frying the coral with DNA damaging spectrums of UV radiation, UVC. Nothing, zero mention of that anywhere. In fact, we're told by some sources the ozone layer is getting better. Ignore your sense of feel, ignore your burning skin, ignore your extremely hot car surfaces, car interiors. Just go with the official narrative. And we have too many people doing that. And geoengineering, again, core causal factor of ozone layer destruction as well. So we're talking about the primary pillars of the planet's life support systems are being annihilated. And that's on top of all the other sources of damage that we're doing. Again, another subject, but we fully acknowledge that at Geoengineering Watch. We've been the most horrible stewards of the planet imaginable. But this intentional intervention, Billy, holds everything in the balance.
Let me back you up a little bit, Dane. When this thing was still off the coast, there were certain people already saying this thing is going to hit Western North Carolina, in particular Asheville. Any other time they're saying we have no idea where this thing is going to track. We have no idea what it's going to do. And here I am at 3,000 feet. And I guess I just had this a-coming. And everybody else around here too. Nothing like this in living memory. So, I mean, talk to me about, and to the people out there, we got a couple of rabble rousers in the chat over here, and I'm just going to ignore that and let these people do what they do. I'm not even sure they're real people. They're probably bots or something out there. But the point being, let me get this right. So what role does the spraying have before this thing even came in? Are they using that spraying or particular, you know what I'm trying to say, bro? I can barely pronounce that word. So are they using that along with these towers to entangle itself in the storm and then aim this thing? Based on what I'm looking from your work and then watching your, I mean, good night, man. You got 25 million views on your dimming documentary. Am I getting this right, that they're using those particulars? So basically going in front of this storm or somewhere alongside of it, dropping these dropping the stuff and using the stuff to steer the storm where they want it. Am I getting this right?
This is the final battle. With you at my side, we will demolish the deep state. We will expel
the stuff to steer the storm where they want it. Am I getting this right?
It's a great line of questioning. Very important. Thank you, Billy. The nanoparticulate dispersions are used for a number of factors. And what we see in front of this incoming front, you have an AR, an atmospheric river of moisture that's pushing north. And we saw that in the water vapor loops that pushed all the way north to Greenland before that storm even made landfall. So they're using this as a moisture pump, pushing that moisture north. They chemically nucleate it, and that's a core part of climate engineering that only geoengineeringwatch.org is trying to desperately bring to light. That's why we have the baseball and softball size hail all the time now, because they're using chemical ice nucleating elements to create short-term toxic surface cool downs. Also creates, again, the massive hail and ice balls. But as this moisture is pushed north toward the Arctic, they're chemically nucleating this in a desperate, dangerous, and very destructive attempt to try to mask what's happening in the Arctic, even if they have to kill the whole planet to do so. So we have that aspect of this operation, the spraying of that incoming moisture, the ionizing of the air mass, if you will, making it more electrically conductive and more susceptible to the frequency transmissions. All of this a part of this operation, and including even cooling down parts of the southeast. Because what we saw on the departure from normal surface temperature maps immediately after Helene made landfall, you had a cooler than normal section in the southeast while the whole rest of the country was red. While this was happening, we had temperatures, for example, in Phoenix in the southwest that broke the former all-time record for September, not just late September in that day, but all of September, broke it by almost 10 degrees, 9.5 degrees. When you're breaking all-time temperature high records by 10 degrees, you know there's a problem. In Northern California, my forests, which were formerly lush, thriving, and very more wet and growing and what you would picture in a coastal California forest, we have temperatures now, Billy, that were this week at 1 o'clock in the morning, 80 degrees. 80 degrees at 1 in the morning in a forest of Northern California with humidities of about 15%. That's comparable to Death Valley. So people don't realize we have this drought deluge scenario. And as I've stated on so many broadcasts, so many interviews, the drought deluge scenario is the hallmark of climate intervention operations. They control the spigot, although it's a very haphazard control. They are definitely directing and deciding where that moisture goes. Let's back up all the way to the 60s in Vietnam with Project Popeye. They were so successful at controlling the flow of moisture all the way back then that by the 70s, international committees passed INMOD treaties, environmental modification treaties, forbidding weather modification in wartime. And yet you bring that up now, and people, the trolls that you just mentioned might be on some of your threads right now, try to pretend this isn't happening. And on the chemical ice nucleation factor, encourage your listeners to search Chinese scientists create artificial snowstorms. They'll find Popular Science, the UK Guardian, CNN, MSNBC, everybody covered it. It's no secret. They did $1 billion worth of damage to Beijing 2 or 3 times, and then they decided to not talk about it anymore because people, of course, weren't happy. But you bring that up here, and suddenly you're a tinfoil hat wearing fringe nutcase, even though these are patented processes covered by international media. So the bottom line is this is an all-out assault against everything we need to continue surviving on this planet. We don't deal with it, we're done.
Well, as you can see how ugly things are and how uglier things are going to get, right? Yesterday at camp, one of the actors I was talking with, we were talking about, when the second shutdown comes, right? How the mass of people are going to be so confused, right? That they ain't going to know in what direction to run, okay? But we who have been called by the name of Yahweh Shin Yahushai, right? The so-called Negros, Latino, American, Speckled Birds, the Hebrew Israelites, we're going to trust in the name, right? We're going to look up into the sky to guide us in the direction we got to go, okay? And also in the decision that Yahweh Bashin Yahushua will make on that very day, okay? Some of us will be taken to FEMA camp. Some of us will be beheaded, right? But some of us, he will decide to help us escape. I want to go to Psalm chapter 68, verse 1. Let Yahweh arise, let his enemies be scattered, let them also that hate him flee before him. I mean, these Edomites and the rest of the heathens that are participating with this kind of technology around the world, okay, are destroying the planet Earth. So you know that alone should tell everyone around the world that the Edomites are not the ones, are not the true caretakers of the earth. Okay? They don't care about the destruction, the damage that they are doing to the earth. You see? And of course, you know, you can't forget about what's that called? You can't forget about HARP, right? I think it's a magnetic waves or something of that nature, right? How they're trying to see how they can make holes in the atmosphere, right? Because you know they want to find out how they can escape, right? The Edomites before Yahushua comes back. Okay, so they're trying everything they can with the technology that Yahushua gave them. Okay, I want to go to Number chapter 10. Number chapter 10, verse 34. And the clouds of Yahweh was upon them by day, when they went out of the camp. See, we're going to need guidance. And the cloud that's talking about here is those so-called UFOs, right? Scripture calls them clouds or chariots, right? The same way that at the time of Egypt, when Moses went, told Pharaoh, let my people go, right? And, you know, the mass amount of people that left the city, you know, they needed some type of light at night because it gets pitch black. You can't see where you're going. So the chariots came and guided them, right? Verse 35, and it came to pass when the ark set forward that Moses said, rise up, Yahweh, and let thy enemies be scattered, and let them that hate thee flee before thee. Yeah, that's what we say. Send back your son Yahweh Shai, so he can scatter the Edomites, right? They're going to run. Not that they're going to be able to escape or hide, right? But they're going to run, okay? When they see those humongous chariots, right, with the host of angels, with the armies of angels, with Yahweh Shai, yeah, they're going to all decide that they're going to, you know, should run, but again, Scripture made it clear that he's going to make them fight him, okay? And, you know, this is not going to be only the Edomites that are going to use weapons against Yahweh Shai. You know, it's going to be worldwide. They're going to unite together, right? They believe that they can beat them with the technology that Yahweh Shai gave them. That's crazy, man. But hey, that's the Edomites for you. I want to go to Exodus chapter 13. Give me a minute here. Exodus chapter 13. Let's go to verse 21. And Yahweh went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud. Woo! Right? So it's amazing that a chariot so big can camouflage itself in the clouds, right? And that's why the Edomites, they want to use technology to know where they hide, where the chariots are hiding and where they're at, right? To lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire. To guide them, light to go by day and night. See, this is the only way we're going to be able to escape when this second shutdown comes, right? Where everybody is running, freaking out, right? Chaos all over the place. We look up to the sky to be guided by the chariots. Okay. Let me go to Deuteronomy chapter 1, verse 33. Because the technology that the Edomites are going to unleash, okay, is to bring the population down, believe it or not. Verse 33, who went in the way before you to search you out a place to pitch your tent? Yeah, Yahweh Shai was the one who went out. Okay? He's the one who's going to come back and guide us to go out again. Second, let me read it again, verse 33. Who went in the way before you to search you out a place to pitch your tent in fire by night, to show you by the way ye should go, and in a cloud by day. I mean, this is why NASA and the Edomites, right, don't want to announce what they really are, because they already know, okay? And then, 2/3 of our people who keep going to these 501c3 incorporated churches, put them to sleep, right? They don't talk about the chariots, okay? Another thing is, how come Vocab Malone is not talking about the chariots? How come he's not writing books about that? It's in the scripture, right? Something that makes you say, I want to go to Psalm chapter 68. Give me a minute. Verse 2. As smoke is driven away, so drive them away, as wax melts before the fire. So let the wicked perish at the presence of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Yeah. Because the Father's not going to be the one coming down. He's going to be sending our King, Yahweh Shai. Okay? And he's going to make sure that these wicked Edomites, the ones that are going to be on the surface of the earth, fighting, right? Yahweh Shai, he's gonna melt them down. Okay? Zap them left and right. Disintegrate them. And then, of course, the ones that are hiding under the bunkers, he's going to come and, get them as well. Let me go to Isaiah chapter 9. Isaiah chapter 9, now verse 18. For wickedness burns as the fire. That's right. It shall devour the briars and thorns, and shall kindle in the thicken of the forest, and they shall mount up like the lifting up of smoke. Yeah, those are like those flowers that have, or roses, I think it is. They have those little thorns, right? Well, the Edomites, that's what they are. One big thorn, right? that are causing damage to the earth. Okay? I mean, they want to make it loud and clear that they don't like the way Yahweh Bashim Yahushua created all things perfect. Right? That they can do better. Right? That's crazy. But hey, that's the way they are, those Edomites. That's a come, they gotta, Yahushua has to come back and get rid of them because they already have served their purpose, okay? They have shown what wickedness is, and what's the result of wickedness? Total destruction. Want to go to oops, almost turned off here. Malachi chapter 4, verse 1. For behold, the day comes that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that comes shall burn them up, said Yahweh of hosts, of army, that it shall leave them neither root nor branches. Yeah, that's how ugly it's going to get. Since the Edomites are so consistent, so persistent, and keep doing the destruction to the earth and to the apple of Yahweh Bashim Hashai's eyes, his people, well, he's going to come back and remove them from power. Take away the technology, the sword, right? The blessing. And put them into slavery. Okay? I want to go to 2 Peter. So I have to look here. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 7. But the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men. Yeah, that's the Edomites, ungodly men, right? They don't want to bow down to the true living God of heaven and earth, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, but they will. The whole world will, okay? And that's going to be happening pretty soon. Let me, I saw a verse, I might as well jump to it, verse 13. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for a new heaven and a new earth, wherein dwells righteousness. That's right, because this ain't our kingdom. No sirree. We cannot wait till Yahweh Shai comes back and remove this wicked kingdom from the face of the earth. Okay? And he will. He's gonna, how they say it? Burn it down. Okay? So, I'm going to jump to verse 10. But the day of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also, and the works that are therein, shall be burnt up. Now, when it says it's not talking about burning the whole planet. He's going to burn so-called America down to the ground. And let's not forget that Russia and China are also going to be participating when they turn loose those missiles, right? And other countries as well, okay? Because the whole world is fed up. And also because of the, other like Russia and China, They want to be the ones in charge of the whole world, right? Of that new digital system program, the invisible money. I want to go to Isaiah chapter 51, verse 6. Lift up your eyes to the heavens and look upon the earth beneath, for the heavens shall vanish away like smoke, and the earth. That's it. Wait, so I can read it again. Verse 6. Lift up your eyes to the heavens and look upon the earth. Okay, there it goes. Beneath, for the heavens shall vanish away like smoke, and the earth shall wax old like a garment, and they that dwell therein shall die in like manner. But my salvation shall be forever, and my righteousness shall not be abolished. No. You know, I did a lesson before with the same verse. It's going to be a done deal, right? The Edomites, the AI, the technology that they have cannot stop nor change it, okay? What's coming, which is our King of Kings, Lord of Lords, okay? To remove the wickedness that are in power and destroying everything, right? Because they're sore losers, okay? Sore losers and spoiled brats. I want to jump to song over here. This is 147. 147, chapter 147, verse. Let's take a look at verse 4. He tells the number of the stars. He calls them all by their name. Yeah. Yahweh Bashin Ashah, who created all things, right? He controls them, and they've been working beautifully. But when the Edomites put their fake science to work, it made a mess of everything. Verse 5, great is our Yahweh, great is our Yahweh, and of great power. His understanding is infinity. Woo! That is so true. Verse 6, Yahweh lift up the meek. He cast the wicked down to the ground. That's right. And that's what's happening right now, that the Edomites, okay, are realizing that their time is coming to an end. Okay? So I want to leave it. It's a short lesson I wanted to do tonight. I want to leave it with, let me go back to Psalm chapter 68. Verse 4. Sing unto Yahweh, sing praises to his name. Extol him that rise upon the heavens by his name, and rejoice before him. And boy, we are rejoicing that all this wickedness is being revealed every day, right? And that it's getting closer for the Edomites to make their last chess move on the board of Yahweh's game, okay? And that's when Yahweh Shai will be coming back to stop their madness, okay? And that's the good news. We just got to keep doing the work of Yahweh Shin Yahweh Shai, and the rest will be history. I hope that this was edifying, and with that I'll say Shalom.